Do you think
Truly.
we're moving quick enough? We spoke a couple of days ago, and I spoke to you about my wife, and I said, you know, my wife is from St Kitts and Nevis. She's done a bit of TV work. She goes for an audition a year or so ago now, I'd say, and gets the role. And usually you get the role, you hear back in a week or two, here's your filming dates. And she doesn't hear anything. And she thinks it's a bit odd. It's 4, 5, 6 weeks. And she rings them up and they say, oh, we're sorry. You did get the role, but we're retracting it because we just, the 2 children that we've casted are white. So they can't have a black mum. Okay. And the phone goes down and she's like telling me the story. And I'm thinking, Imagine in my business, I turned around and said, you know,
welcome to our world.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's harsh and totally, you know, there's a total lack of respect sometimes. I mean, that, you know, your wife had to call them, that they didn't even call her and say, and that, you know, we live in a society whereby, now, if there was 2 black children and they had a white mother, they'd have made that storyline work. But the other way around, it doesn't work. Why is that? And like you say, is it moving? No, it's not moving fast enough. Definitely not. You know, and when people say it's gotten better, that may be so. But do I have parity? Do I have equality?
Yeah.
I don't. No. So, you know, there's still a lot of work to be done. And like you say, to be given something and then it be taken away. And as a person of colour, as a black woman in this society, she won the role, she earned the role, and for it to be taken away from her, you know, we are attuned to that back there, that there's something that could happen, that even though it's supposedly a done deal, at some stage it could be an undone deal. And I've had that as a solo artist with record companies. You have a deal and it's gone quiet and nothing happens, and suddenly I don't have a deal, but nobody's given me any kind of respect.
Yeah.
They haven't told me that there's no deal. I've just supposed to work it out. You know, it can be sometimes, you know, it does make you laugh because it's just so outrageous.
Yeah.
You just think to yourself, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. And, you know, as a woman of colour in this society, there's no time to cry. You know, the whole strapline about us being strong black women is that, yeah, you are strong, because you have to if there's a problem, you have to go straight to the solution. If you're going to cry, you have to cry in private. You have to cry with people that care. And at the moment, when you're in a situation, like I say, you go from problem to solution straight away, roll your sleeves up, because there's no in-between time. There's no cry time, because you're not allowed to. Because when you're in that in-between mode and doing nothing, everything can change so very quickly. So you have to come up with a solution very quickly before things change yet again.
Yeah.
You're smiling because you know you know what I'm talking about.
It's funny because, you know, if I speak to her about, if we speak about colour, and we've got 4 mixed race kids, but it's not, people always think racism is like the name calling, or
no.
And she'll get her auditions through, and you just know it's going to be for a certain role. Yeah. It's going to be for a gangster's mole role.
Yeah.
She might
Street corner scratching the backside. Hey, baby.
There might be a cleaning role, and all the time it's the same kind.
Yeah.
Same
because
kind of roles.
Because that's how you're seen.
100%.
Because that is how you're seen.
100%.
And so, you know, you're forever fighting that. I mean, I was this was quite a few years back, and I started having success with them people. And I was walking down the street and there was a police car. I don't know if I've ever told this story. There's a police car. And then the 2 police, they got out and they walked up towards me. And I was with my family. And my family were a few steps behind me.
Yeah.
And they said, oh, we've just been stopped by a man. And he said he's been accosted by a woman. So talk about prostitute. So I said to them, well, what man? And where? So I was asking them the questions, and then, but they were intimating that I was the prostitute.
Okay.
So I thought to myself, why? Because I'm walking on the street on my own. I wasn't on my own, but this is what they saw: a black woman on her own walking the streets, and so I must be a prostitute. And I felt to myself that there was no person that had accosted them. They just wanted to make life difficult for me. And you learn that from a very early age, unfortunately, that there are people in society, and some of them come in uniform, that will try and make your life difficult. And you have to navigate that and still hold on to self. And therein lies the problem. Like you say, it's not just the name calling. There are situations where you know that you're guilty and you have to prove yourself innocent, and you're guilty because you come in a different packaging, because you come in a darker packaging. And so if I'm always seen as my color alone is seen as a threat, where do I go? How do I navigate that kind of world? But I have, and I always will do. But is it easy? No, to this day it's not easy. And that's another reason why I'm interested in things like mental well-being, because it is really takes a toll on people's mental well-being and mental health.